All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er recap as the Niners finishing up the fourth quarter at what looks to be a third and final preseason game of 2025 with the Chargers. You got a very even ball game. Let's talk a little bit about this game. Trey Lance started for this game for the Chargers. He went 5 of 8 for 38 yards, only 4.8 yards per attempt. Really didn't look all that great. The Niners quarterback split time throughout this game. Mordecai in the first half was 4 of 6. He had a 40 and a touchdown. He had 49 total passing yards and that one touchdown in the first half. Bradley was 3 of 7 for 21 yards in the first half. 2 sacks, and he also had a fumble. As far as what really stood out in this game, first of all, we didn't get any Brian Robinson. No Brian Robinson tonight. Sky Moore did handle the punt and kick return duties. He had a 25.5 average on the kick returns in the first half. Didn't do as well on the punt returns. He had a 12-yard reception. He had 1 catch for 12 yards. He made 1 nice catch. Jair Brown was both a hero and a GOAT in this game. He saved a touchdown on Miller Hines' second quarter punt return. Miller Hines was going for a touchdown, but Jair saved it. But then he gave up a touchdown to Aronde Gadsden on a pass play from DJ Ugalele. So Brown gave up a touchdown, but he also saved a touchdown. The big story of the first half was that Jake Moody missed a PAT. Which you never want to see. And the Niners are now getting, looks like a pick 6 from Curtis Robinson. Curtis Robinson with a late pick 6, and the 49ers are going to go up 23-16 with just a few minutes left to play. But the big story in the first half, Jake Moody missed a PAT. He shanked it left. Unbelievable. I mean, it's really, really hard to fathom that he's struggled as much as he has, but he did miss a PAT. The Chargers ran in the first half for 14 carries for 48 yards. So the Niners defense did a pretty good job. Only 3.4 yards per carry allowed in the first half. The Niner O-line was just okay. They gave up 2 sacks and 3 hits on the quarterback. Garendo couldn't run. Wilson didn't run well in the first half. Garendo had 1.6 yards per carry. Wilson had 1.7 yards per carry. Demarcus Robinson had a nice touchdown catch, beautiful catch. Mordecai to Robinson for the touchdown. 2 catches for 30 yards and for Robinson, who caught it. A beautiful touchdown in the end zone, corner of the end zone. Luke Farrell also had a couple catches in the first half. The big defensive star in the first half was Chaz Surratt. Surratt had 10 tackles, 5 of them solo in the first half alone. I thought Darrell Luter had a good first half as well. Luter had 5 tackles, 3 solo, and a PBU. Jordan Elliott had a tackle for a loss in the first half. It was basically the Thomas Morstead show. Morstead had 5 punts in the first half. So what was the first half about? Well, I mean, it was a half that was totally dominated by the Chargers. The Chargers had 220 total yards. The Niners in the first half had 68 total yards. So 68 yards of offense. As I said, the Niners defense played well in the first half, but the Niners offense in the first half held to 6 points at home and 68 total yards. So, as I said, the big story of the first half is that the Niners defense played well, but Jake Moody missed a PAT. Demarcus Robinson scored a touchdown. I thought, the other thing that really stood out in this game was that I think Tanner Mordecai badly outplayed Carter Bradley. Mordecai looked a lot better in this game than Bradley did. As far as the second half highlights, Nick Martin had a great forced fumble, and Evan Anderson fell on it. I thought that was one of the plays of the second half. Martin really came alive in the second half. He's had a number of big plays. He had a tackle against the run on the Chargers' first possession of the third quarter. Then he forced a fumble from Miller Hines on a 1st and 10 play that Anderson recovered. Then we got a chance to see Tanner Mordecai run, and this is where Mordecai is clearly better than Bradley. Mordecai run up. There you go. Isaiah Prince is out with a knee injury. That's also, we saw that a couple minutes ago. But Mordecai had a run on 2nd and 9 from the 49. It was a 13-yard run, but it really demonstrated his speed. And then Jeff Wilson went in from 5 yards out to cap an 8-play, 52-yard drive. Wilson had a couple of really great blocks in the second half of this game. We also saw Jake Moody struggle in the second half with kickoffs. He had a kickoff that went out of bounds, struggling to just even get the kickoffs in bounds. So that was interesting. Nick Martin also had another solo tackle on the Chargers' 9th possession. Jake Moody had a 38-yard field goal in the second half to make it 16-13 49ers. Nick Martin made another play on Ugalele on a pass from Ugalele to, I forget who it was to, but Martin made a tremendous play on the first down play on the Chargers' 10th possession. And then I thought Travis Gibson had a couple nice plays. On 2nd and 7, Gibson in the third quarter, Gibson had a pressure to force an incompletion. And then on the 3rd and 7 play, on the next play, Gibson came away with a sack. It was a penalty on the Niners for illegal contact, so it kind of negated the sack. But Travis Gibson on those back-to-back plays was fantastic. Then later in that drive, Nick Martin had another big-time solo tackle on Raheem Sanders. Nick Martin really, really good. And then we got to the fourth quarter, and the Chargers punted, and Junior Bergen muffed the punt, and the Chargers took over at the 11-yard line. And I got to think that, he knows. I mean, he knows that he's lost his roster spot to Sky Moore. I'm sure it's an emotional thing. And then to muff a punt deep in your own territory was really, really not good. Really not good. So I got to think that was probably the final nail in the coffin for Junior Bergen. So he muffs that punt. Chargers take over on the 11-yard line. And Nick Martin made a great play on the first down play, but eventually Dicker would kick a 27-yard field goal to tie the game at 16. So that's where it was sitting. Then Isaiah Prince left with a knee injury. We were just informed that Isaiah Prince is out the rest of the game. Mordecai did throw a slant to Turner that went for 22 yards, and it was an absolute dime. So that's where it sat. And the Chargers got the ball back with 6:44 to play. And you just saw Ugalele throw a pass to Curtis Robinson. Robinson picked off the pass and took it back for a touchdown. So the Niners with a 23-16 lead, trying to put this one on ice. And of course, the other big story of the day is that Juwan Jennings went on his Instagram and quoted some lyrics from Offset from the song Move On. And, it says, "You effed around with the wrong dude. Hope your next end be great." What does it all mean? That's hard to say, but we will definitely be talking about it in the postgame. We'll talk to Kyle Shanahan in the postgame and get his thoughts. I want to get his thoughts on the way Jeff Wilson blocked. I thought Wilson had two or three amazing blocks in the second half of this game. So overall, if you said what was the takeaways from this game, I mean, Curtis Robinson had a beautiful pick six. Bergen's muff punt kind of sealed his fate. Nick Martin had another spectacular game from Nick Martin. Jake Moody continues to struggle with a kickoff that goes out of bounds, with a missed PAT. There seems to be, some rumors around Juwan Jennings and what may happen there. We'll find out. I thought Tanner Mordecai badly outplayed Carter Bradley. I thought overall the 49ers I thought looked pretty good defensively. I mean, this Charger team is one of the better teams here in the league, and I think the Niners stood up defensively and played pretty well. Jair Brown, as I said, he saved a touchdown, but he also gave up a touchdown. I thought Demarcus Robinson had a fantastic touchdown catch. It was a great night for Chaz Surratt. It was a great night, I thought, for Darrell Luter. And if you like punts, I mean, you got a lot of them tonight. But the Niners still have questions still have questions about their kicker, still have questions about their offense, their defense, their special teams. There's a lot of questions going into week one, but 68 yards of total offense in the first half of the Niners, that was not really good. All right, we'll go into the locker room. We'll talk to Shanahan. We'll come back up. We'll join us on the KMBR postgame show, and then join us on YouTube. And we'll have a full Krug show roundup, round table. I don't think we'll have Kev tonight, but we'll have, and I'm not sure who else we're going to have, but I think JD will be in the house. He's here. He's going to join me, and we want to hear from you. So we'll take a look at the 53-man roster. We'll answer some tough questions. We'll talk about we'll speculate on JJ, and we'll see what Shanahan had to say in the postgame. So good third preseason game for the most part because I thought the defense played well. I thought there were some positive things on the offensive side. And we're getting closer to the 53. And, knock on wood, there wasn't crushing injuries in this game, and that was a good thing. So the way the Niners have been hit hard by injuries, any game they can get through without injuries is huge. All right, thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.